You walk into your local gym. Rows of machines, a few dozen members grinding through sets, a front desk kid scanning key fobs. Looks simple. Pay rent, buy some equipment, sell memberships, collect checks forever. Here's the problem. The gym in your neighborhood that looks like easy money is actually one of the highest failure rate businesses in fitness. And the ones that survive are running on margins so thin that a bad month of cancellations can wipe out a whole quarter of profit. So today, we're opening the books on what it actually costs to own a gym, the real startup number, what eats your revenue every single month, and the exact membership count you need just to break even. By the end, you'll know whether this easy money business is actually worth the sweat. Let's start with the number everyone wants. What does it cost to open the doors? The honest answer is a massive range, $50,000 on the low end to $500,000 or more. And the gap comes down to one decision. What kind of gym are you building? A small boutique studio, yoga, martial arts, a cycling box can open for $30,000 to $150,000. A mid-sized gym with a real cardio floor and weight room runs $150,000 to $300,000. A traditional full-service gym with locker rooms, a group fitness studio, maybe a sauna, blows past $300,000. And if you're talking a big box competitor to the major chains, you're in seven figures. Here's the breakdown for our example. A realistic 3,000 square foot mid-size gym. Lease and build-out come first, 60 to 70% of your total budget, the single biggest line item. Commercial space runs $18 to $40 per square foot per year. At 3,000 square feet, that's at minimum $54,000 a year in rent before you've trained a single member. Landlords also want a deposit. First month, last month, security, which can hit $10,000 to $20,000 up front. Then there's the build-out. Rubber flooring, mirrors, upgraded HVAC. Gyms need serious air turnover, 15 to 20 air changes per hour. Locker rooms, showers. Budget $35 to $75 per square foot. On our 3,000 square foot space, that's $105,000 to $225,000 just to make the shell livable. Equipment is the second biggest bucket. Commercial-grade cardio machines run $1,500 to $6,000 each. Strength equipment, racks, benches, machines, is $500 to $5,000 apiece. Functional training gear, the bands and mats and medicine balls, adds another $3,000 to $8,000 total. A modestly equipped floor easily runs $60,000 to $150,000. Then there's the paperwork nobody budgets for. An LLC costs $50 to $500 depending on your state. A business license is $50 to $200. Then insurance, and this is non-negotiable. General liability at $1 million, $2 million minimums, plus professional liability to cover any training advice your staff gives. Skip this, and one bad rep on a squat rack ends your business in a lawsuit. And finally, working capital. Every serious operator budgets 3 to 6 months of operating expenses in reserve because membership doesn't fill up on day one. It ramps. Add it up for our mid-size example, and you're realistically looking at $180,000 to $280,000 before you unlock the doors for your first member. Getting the doors open is the easy part. Staying open is where gyms actually die. Rent. The rule of thumb is to keep rent under 15% of revenue. The moment it creeps past that, your margins start collapsing, because rent doesn't flex when a slow month hits. It's due on the first, no matter what. Payroll. In year one, many owners don't take a salary at all. They're the trainer, the front desk, and the janitor. But once you're staffing up, a certified personal trainer averages $62,377 a year. And that's before you add front desk staff, a cleaning crew, and a manager if you're not running the floor yourself. Utilities and software. HVAC alone is expensive when you're moving that much air. Add gym management software for billing and scheduling, $50 to $250 a month, plus payment processing fees eating 2 to 3% of every transaction. Marketing, forever, not just at launch. Plan to spend roughly 5% of ongoing revenue just to keep the member pipeline full, because gyms lose members every single month. This is called churn, and it's the quiet killer of the whole business model. You're not just selling memberships once, you're reselling your existing base's willingness to stay every 30 days. Maintenance. Commercial equipment lasts 10 plus years if you buy new, but it needs servicing. And a broken squat rack or a dead treadmill sitting unrepaired is a member you lose to the gym down the street. Membership dues are the obvious answer, but they're not the whole story. The average gym member is worth about $517 a year in a standard membership model. That number alone should tell you why volume matters so much. You need real scale to make the math work. Then there are the layers most people don't think about. Personal training, the highest margin revenue stream in the entire business, since you're selling the trainer's time on top of a membership that's already paid for. Class add-ons, specialty classes, small group training. Retail, supplements, apparel, merchandise, small margin but easy upsell. Corporate and family plans, locking in multiple members per sign-up. Top-performing gyms generate $50 to $150 in revenue per square foot annually. On our 3,000 square foot space, that's a realistic range of $150,000 to $450,000 a year in total revenue. A wide gap that depends entirely on how well you fill the floor and how much you sell beyond the base membership. And the profit margin on all of that? Traditional gyms run 10 to 20%. Boutique studios, the yoga and CrossFit and Pilates concepts, can hit 20 to 40% because they carry less equipment overhead and charge a premium for a specialized experience. Here's the number that actually matters. How many members do you need before this business stops bleeding you dry? Using that $517 average annual member value against $100,000 in annual operating costs, you land around 193 members just to cover expenses, before you've paid yourself a dime. Real-world break-even for a gym typically lands at 12 to 18 months, and it takes somewhere between 200 and 400 members depending on your model and pricing. Boutique studios can get there faster because pre-sales, selling founding memberships before you even open, can fund a meaningful chunk of your build-out. This is why every experienced operator says the same thing. Start lean. Sublease instead of signing a 5-year commercial lease on day one. Buy strength equipment used. Refurbished gear saves 40 to 60% versus new, and a barbell doesn't care who owned it first. Pre-sell memberships at a discounted founder's rate before you've spent $1 on build-out, so you're funding construction with revenue instead of debt. 3 things sink almost every failed gym. Overbuilding before validating demand, signing the premium lease, buying the top-tier equipment before you know your neighborhood will actually show up and pay for it, underestimating churn. New members flood in every January, and by March, half of them are gone. If your marketing budget isn't constantly refilling that leak, your member count slowly bleeds out even while you feel busy, treating rent as fixed and everything else as flexible. When a slow season hits, owners cut marketing first, which guarantees an even slower season next month. The businesses that survive protect the growth engine and cut elsewhere. So, is owning a gym actually worth it? If you're chasing passive income, this is the wrong business. A gym is a hands-on operation with thin margins, a physical space that costs money, whether members show up or not, and a constant fight against churn. But if you actually want to run a fitness business, if the 10 to 20% margin, or 30 plus if you go boutique, is acceptable because you love the floor, you love the members, and you're willing to be the one training people in year 1 to keep payroll low, the math can absolutely work. Just walk in knowing the real number is closer to $200,000 and 18 months of runway, not the buy some dumbbells and get rich fantasy. Next episode, we're opening the books on a completely different kind of business. If you want to see the exact spreadsheet behind these numbers, it's linked below. Subscribe if you want the real economics behind the businesses everyone dreams about owning.